Now I got a question. Now they were saying were y'all the first Black American tag team champions? Is that
No,
correct?
no, that's
Okay,
not true.
okay. Well, I want to ask you about y'all. Y'all did win the belts though. What was that like for you?
Well, we had came from global where we were 3 or 4 time champions.
Wow.
So when it came from global championship wrestling, that was on ESPN. And then when we went to WCW, uh, well, I can only speak for myself. I knew we were going to be the champions. I knew it. You know, it was just, it was just something that eventually that was going to happen, and we knew it. We knew we were the best tag team around there. We know, you know, slowly but surely we're going to be what we're going to become, and that's what we worked on, and that was a challenge to us. So when it happened, it really wasn't a surprise. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, it really wasn't a surprise because in our minds we were champions already before we even got the belts. So it was kind of like look at each other and go, you know, told you.
Right, right. Y'all made it look good
You
though,
know what I'm
man.
saying?
For sure. Like they say.
Told you. We knew we was gonna get them. Soon as we stepped in WCW, we knew eventually. Cause you look around at what everybody doing, and then we look at what we doing and go, okay, all right. We see what we got. We see what we up against. So when we finally got the belts, I think we got them from the Nasty Boys the first time. Wasn't no big hoopla. It was all in the cards. So
Okay.
then 9 more times after that. So it was like, wow,
Man,
that
that's that
that's
Hall of
something we
Fame
never.
talk.
Yeah, that's something we never thought we would do was get the belts 10 different times. We never thought about that.
Wow.
So it was just like an ongoing thing, man. So hey, man, that's how it happened.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. Big shout out to y'all again. Most definitely. Now I wanted to ask you, what obstacles did y'all face, if any, in terms of being one of the few black tag teams, and winning the championship and going on to win it again and again from
You
your
know,
perspective?
professional wrestling ain't no different than nothing else in
Hmm.
United States of America. Contrary to what people may think, professional wrestling you dealing with the same thing you deal with on a daily basis, or any other job or any other profession or so on and so forth. So wrestling ain't no different. The
Hmm.
thing is, I don't think about the obstacles. I think about what you got to do to make it to the top. That's my obstacle. My obstacle is in my head, and ain't nothing finna stop me from making it to the top. That's how I look at it. I can't even remember the matches like I told you before, and I can't remember the bullshit. What I remember is me going out doing what I got to do to get mine. That's what I remember. There's obstacles
Oh, yeah.
everywhere in every walk of life. If
Indeed.
that mean anything, a lot of people think, when it comes to certain adversity, it starts and stops depending on what's on the marquee or what's on the wall as far as the name of something. No, this is America. This is America. As soon as you get off the boat, it starts. But what you gonna do? I don't bitch about it. I'm about it, and that's how I've done in every walk of my life. So
Hmm.
the obstacles are there. How bad do you want it though?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
this ain't pro wrestling ain't tiddlywinks. How bad do you want it? How much you willing to sacrifice to get it? So it's obstacles on both sides. On the ones that's trying to keep you from getting in, but not only that, the ones that stuck within the medulla of your brain and your desire. How bad do you want it? Because yourself and I can be your biggest obstacle, if that makes sense.
No, it make a lot of sense. Like they say, it's 90% mental. So how bad do you want it? You
How
gonna have
bad
to
do you
deal
want it?
with it
Yeah.
in any
If you
field.
think, if you exactly. So if you tough enough, if you focus enough, and you got the tools and you ready when opportunity knocks, if it's either, it ain't worth it anyway. Anybody can do either stuff. Either thing in the world is do either stuff. The hardest thing in the world is see a challenge and go say, I don't care. I'm still going for it. So your obstacle actually can be right in your brain.
Man, that's heavy. That's inspiring as well, man. I'm glad you said that. Now I wanted to ask you, I guess it was a big changeover, WCW, then you had the WWE. Did you actually go to the WWE
No,
and what happened with that situation? If you
no,
could speak on it.
no. I just didn't want to go, man. I didn't feel like going through all the starting over again and this, that, and the other. So I went overseas.
Wow.
I took my career overseas, and that's why I pretty much ended my career going back and forth overseas. Because I was started dealing with all the hoopla and politics of professional wrestling here. Overseas, everything was more freer. Plus, I had a business I was running here, so I couldn't be on the road, um, 300 days a year anymore. And I had my daughter was getting, older, and I wanted to be home more. My daughter was about 7. She was like 7 years old then, and so I wanted to be around my house more. So going back and forth overseas, and I had to open a detail shop on the west side of Houston. So it gave me a chance to do both. And if I was on the road here, I wouldn't have been able to do both.
Okay, okay, man, that's amazing. I travel a lot. I'm a world traveler. I've been to like 70 countries, man. I love traveling. It's a life-changing experience. And just within what you said, it was more relief, a little bit freer. So I wanted to ask you, what were some of the favorite places that you got to perform overseas?
Oh man, the company I worked for was based out of Australia, but
Wow.
we went everywhere, man. We went all over Australia all the time. Then we go to Japan, man. We go to Korea. We go to England. We go to Ireland. We go to Canada. We went to Mexico. We went all over the place for that company, man. So it was cool, man. I had a very good time working with those guys, man. Very good time.
Okay, that's what's up. I'm glad you
And
brought that up.
when I wasn't working with them, uh, the main company, I would get booked on tour sometime for like a couple of days. Like going to Puerto Rico or going to
Wow.
Mexico or something like that, or some of the different shows, smaller shows around the country that's got good crowds. Some of the independent organizations. So it was cool. It was cool, and I did that up into the late 2000s.
Wow. Okay, okay. That's good to hear, man. Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.